All right, so today we're going to start learning some more strategies here on how to do long division. Okay, so if you could please open up your math practice packet, to page number 27. We can go ahead and get started. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is take this back to near facts to kind of help us out a little bit. So let's take a look at the very first problem here. If we take this number 3 and we multiply it by our quotient, right? We take our divisor and multiply it by our quotient, and we add our remainder, then we will get our dividend. And that's just the same strategy that we did, okay, when we did near facts. Essentially, what we did here was we figured out how many times can 3 go into the number 1. Well, friends, 3 can't go into the number 1. Because it can't go into the number 1, we have to move my finger over to the 10th place and think how many times can 3 go into 16. Well, 3 times 5 is 15, so that's as close as possible as we're going to get. So 3 times 5 is 15, okay? We bring our 15 down here, and then we subtract. So essentially, we're going through a pattern or a strategy every single time, okay? First thing you're doing is how many times can the number go into the larger number, then you multiply, then you subtract, and then you repeat the pattern, okay? So here we're doing the same thing. How many times can 4 go into 1? It can't. So in that case, we have to move over, and well, how many times can 4 go into 18? We'll look at it in the 10th place. 4 times. So 4 times 4 is 16. Put your 16 here, and then you subtract, and that becomes your remainder. Okay, and then when you look at it for near facts, you think 4 times what number plus blank is equal to 18. Okay, and you end up getting 4 and 2. All right, so let's take a look now at number 3. We're going to try to divide 5 into 2. Can we do that? Hopefully you said no. Okay, so I'm going to have to move my finger over, and we are now going to divide 5 into 1. So we count by 5s until we can get as close as possible without going over to 21. 5 times 4, I'm going to put my 4 above the 1, and that's because it's above the 10th place. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract, you get 1, so it's 5 with a remainder of 1. Okay? For number 4, can 3 go into 1? No, it cannot. Can 3 go into 19? Yes, it can. How many times? 6. 6 goes up top of the 9 because it goes into 19. 6 times 3 is 18. Subtract, and we get 1. So our answer is 6 with a remainder of 1. All right. Going on, just going to draw a line here. Okay. If it's easier, we can separate the problems like this. Okay, now let's take a look at number 5. Can 4 go into 3? Can 4 go into 3? No, it cannot. Can it go into 37? Yes, it can. How many times? What number times 4 is going to get us as close as possible to 37 without going over? You should have said 9. 9 times 4 is 36. Then we're going to subtract. 37 minus 36 is 1. So our answer becomes 9 with a remainder of 1. Okay, next problem. How many times can 7 go into 3? Well, it can't. So we have to move over and look at the number 36. How many times can 7 go into 36? Well, 7 times what number is as close as possible to 36 without going over? 5. 7 times 5, 35. And we subtract, and we get a remainder of 1. Okay? Moving on to number 7. Can 5 be divided into 3? No, it cannot. Can 5 be divided into 36? Yes, it can. How many times can 5 be divided into 36? What number times 5 is going to get us as close as possible to 36 without going over? 7. 7 goes over top of the 6. because we're looking at the combined number of 36 there. Okay, 7 times 5 is 35. Subtract. 6 minus 5 is 1. So we have a remainder of 1. Next one. Can 9 be divided into 3? No. 3 can be divided into 9, but 9 cannot be divided into 3. Can 9 be divided into 37? Yes. How many times? Well, 9 times what number is as close as possible to 37? 4. So we put our 4 up here. 9 times 4 is 36. And we subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. So we have 4 with a remainder of 1. Okay. Now, going on to number 9. Can 4 go into 35? No. Can 4 go into 3? No. Can 4 go into 35? Yes. How many times? 8. 8 times 4 is 32. We subtract, we get 3. So we're going to have 8 with a remainder of 3. Now, I want to take a minute to point out the importance of the remainder here. If your remainder is more than your divisor, you've made an error. So because 3 is not more than 4, the likelihood of us having made an error is very low. We did not make an error, okay? But your remainder cannot be more than your divisor. Next problem. Can 6 go into 4? No. Can it go into 43? Yes. How many times? Well, 6 times 7 is 42. So our 7 goes there. Our 42 goes here. We subtract, get 1 remaining, 7 with a remainder of 1. All right, number 11. Can 7 go into 5? No, 7 cannot go into 5. Can 7 go into 50? Yes. How many times can the number 7 go into the number 50? 7 times. So we're going to put our 7 above there. Okay, 7 times 7 is 49. And now we're going to subtract. 50 take away 49 is 1. So our answer is 7 with a remainder of 1. Now we're going to do one more together as a whole group, and then you're going to have some you-do time to try some on your own. Okay, can 4 be divided into 1? No, it cannot. So I have to move my pencil over. Can 4 be divided into 19? Well, yes, it certainly can. How many times? If you said 4, you are correct. 4 times 4 is 16. We subtract, and we get 9 minus 6 is 3, or 19 minus 16 is 3. 3 is less than our divisor, which is 4. Our answer is 4, the remainder of 3. Now, friends, we have come to the you-do section. These problems here, you are going to try for a few minutes on your own, and then we will review them as a group. Okay, if you're feeling really overwhelmed and you're still not understanding, then you need to send me a little chat, and I will work with you in a breakout room while the rest of the class, or a small group, while the rest of the class is able to finish those problems on their own. Okay, we'll come back together in a few minutes to review.